Hello,
Hello.
it's Laura. How are
What
you today?
I am very well, thank you. What a beautiful vesty you have on. The Ingrid slipover vest. I love to see it.
It's so good. Well, I was inspired. I was inspired by your class drop, but we'll get to that, Laura. We'll get to that
Yes.
a little bit
Yes, that's
later.
not on the
It's not in
itinerary for
order.
our scheduled
No,
show.
it's not in order.
Trying to hide my
Yes.
print workstation because I've been working so hard to clean up, but none of the cleanup stuff's in frame. So I'm going to scoot over here.
That's relatable. That's relatable.
Yeah.
I was
Don't
doing
pay
some
attention to the
sewing and
printer paper here.
I moved my friend over here. But then there's just a
Yeah.
whole bunch of shit right here that it usually covers up. What are you
It's
gonna do?
like I have so much. I've done like I reorganized this
It does look
entire
really good.
pegboard. Thank you. It
Yeah,
looks so
it's
good, but then
inspiring.
everything around it still looks like crap, and I'm just like, God damn, I need a better backdrop. But I'm not going to do Zoom blur because I don't think we can in our live program. But also, people try to show us their
I know.
beautiful makes when we're in Zoom
Yeah.
classes or we're
Yep.
at midnight, and
Yep.
it
Every
blurs
time.
anything that's not their face, and it looks like they're holding up like a middle finger or something that's getting pixelated out, or like
Getting,
some
yeah,
unspeakably
not
disgusting item.
okay. Yes, like
Yeah,
a boob.
uh, like a big, I don't, just like a sex toy or something, and they're just trying to show me their sock, but when it's
Yeah, but no.
blurred,
And then we have to play this
anyway.
whole song and dance like, how do I turn off the blur?
Yeah,
How do I turn? And you're just like,
I just think
I
people
know.
want the realness. They want to know how relatable we are, and so I'm just being vulnerable out here. I am making progress, even if you can't see it.
I know. I know that you
Thank
are.
you, thank you.
Laura, we talked about my Ingrid bestie
So beautiful.
slipover. What sweater are you wearing? I
I
feel
am
like we're kind
wearing
of
just a
matching.
Yeah, I'm wearing a sweater that just we're in a black and white moment for sure. I'm wearing a sweater that is not selling anything, unfortunately. It's just stupid, but it's a favorite sweater of mine. It is in Brooklyn tweed, discontinued Brooklyn tweed
Discontinued. Yes.
shelter in newsprint, which has been picked up. The mantle has been picked up by our friends at Kelborn Woolens,
Mhm.
and they make marl, black and white marl Germantown that's also sold out. So that's crazy, but hopefully we'll come back at some point. And then this is a custom designed sweater using the Amy Herzog custom fit program, which
Also
was
retired.
dead, but then came back, but is dead or
Oh,
something.
I think
I
it's
don't
dead again.
remember.
I think it's dead again.
Cool. So you
Yeah.
can't have this sweater, everyone. I'm doing a terrible job at my
It's a
job,
one
but I'm
of a
being real.
kind.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a one of a kind. That is
Yes,
for
but
sure.
essentially, we will talk about this later on, of course. But that is sort of the vibe. But I reach for this a ton, and I have been examining what about it I really like. And part of it is the sleeves. Part of it is how much positive ease there is, and the fact that I fixed the neckline after many years. So I'm trying to recreate that when I think of what are on my makes for the coming year. This is the
Mm.
shape I like. So
That's
that's what
a
I've been
really
thinking about.
good exercise that we talk about a lot in our classes. Like, what are the garments that you reach for daily, and why are you reaching for
Yeah.
those items? And thinking about that to help you build up your wardrobe and pick new sweaters that fit
Mm-hmm.
your lifestyle. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, love that,
Absolutely.
Laura. Yeah, you look
Thank
great.
you. Thanks. Likewise. Love the cut. Love the haircut. Looking so good.
Oh, thanks. As it turns out, I really hate hair.
Well, that's a I for you perhaps. I don't know. You're always very kind about mine. But
Oh, I love other people can do whatever they want. For me personally, the more time I have to spend on things that are happening on top of my head, the angrier I get.
mm,
So I went to my girl, Christina, at Supreme Beauty Parlor up the street from me.
Shout out.
And I was like, I want this off my head. And she said, that's hilarious because no one wants to cut their hair this time of year. Everyone is like, just a trim. I need more hair. And I'm like, I need it gone. And she's like, no one ever says that. So it felt even better to be just the opposite of everyone else too. Yep. Yes.
Outlier Central. That's our Allyson for sure.
And I put a hat on when I went out to walk Royal. And when I took my hat off, my hair looked exactly the same as when it went under the hat, which was the whole point. Oh, so I love this lifestyle. What can I say?
Perfect. Yeah. Well, yeah, hats are the reason I have grown out my bangs because it is too much going on when trying to do hats and then trying to do the artful like back of the crown hat positioning that was so in 2012 is out. That's not what we do anymore.
I love an artful back of the head. It's hard though when it's negative 12 degrees out. You don't want anything artful.
This gets very cold.
So cold. It's so sensitive. It's so sensitive. Oh, so Laura, super excited to share with you my Leelanau for the Laura KAL.
Yes, we are Leela knitting along this month, and Allyson is a true superstar. Now, once again, as per her discussion about her hair, Allyson is forging her own path and is going in the opposite direction of the masses.
It's just my personality.
She is knitting from the top down where the pattern is written from bottom up because you can do that. And so she has worked through the neckline and the body, whereas in work group, we are team 2 sleeves. So we all, if I could graft these on Allyson's sweater right now, and we would have a completed sweater, which rules.
We can kind of do that here. Look at if you just line your.
That's a lot of work.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it. It's so good.
But then we would be done, which I love. So Allyson's work looks way more impressive than mine, but I really, truly, this is a lot more knitting than it looks like. So, and there's so many.
Did you cast on your body yet, Laura?
Well, I'm going to, but there just hasn't been a freaking moment to cast on 260 stitches at this moment with a tubular cast on. There just hasn't. But you're not ready. It's going to be so good for Monday. But what I've been doing is prepping my stuff for tonight, for Ingrid class tonight. I've had to prep that. And I'm working away to get my Saturday porcelain sweater ready because we're joining sleeves in porcelain class. This is so funny how this is like. Do you think I have a particular taste in Brooklyn tweed yarn? I think I do.
That looks very good.
But I'm working along on this color work for porcelain sweater to have that ready for Saturday. So all I can, and I've been computering because the next 3 days I'm just on the couch doing the body. So I've selected my various audiobooks and televisions and I'm on board. But so no, body's not there yet. But are you having to set aside your Leelanau right now for other things or are you hopping on those sleeves?
Well, I am this weekend. In my Felix pullover class, we're talking about knitting 2 sleeves at the same time. So I thought I could use this as my sample for getting my sleeves going, 2 sleeves at the same time. So it's only on hold because it can be my demo sweater.
Very smart. I love it. The other thing that I finished this week that the camera hates, my blinding sock is avail if I hold it back here.
I love that little toesy.
But yes, I finished my first sock of the Super Sock knit along, held by the beautiful Stepanka International Knit Along, and also my whip it out for the month. So my goal was to finish one of Super Sock, which I have done. So this is finished. That goal is accomplished. So I'm
Check
just
it
out here
Check
checking those
it
things
off.
off. Checking them off for sure.
Nice. Love it.
What else you got on the needles? Well, I think you've been sewing away also.
I have been, but very little bits and spurts. I have just really been knitting. So this is my Colette pullover. I did so much body this week. I did maybe like 4 inches of body, which feels really good. There's definitely more of this than last time. And I blocked it all out. It's so beautiful. So yeah,
that's
my
the tough
Colette
part.
is cooking.
That is the tough part once you join the body and the round. That will also be happening with this bad boy. The progress, you're doing double the amount of stitches, so the progress looks less, but it's actually a lot. So that is very successful. Very successful.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so excited about that. I was envisioning, Laura, that it would be the perfect, my color is off now because my camera can't handle how beautiful that orange is.
Woo!
Yeah. It's like it can't take it. It can't take the orange. There, I'm back. I'm in Technicolor now. But I was just thinking, Laura, about how beautiful that sweater is going to be frolicking in Germany when we go to Germany in April.
Good now. Yeah, natürlich. It's going to be lovely. Yes, Allyson and I are reaching. Allyson has reached, although she doesn't really have to count it till my birthday occurs 6 months later. We're reaching milestone birthdays this year, so we're taking a friend trip abroad to my ancestral homeland of Germany. So we are going to go visit people with my calves and bone structure, and very not sense of humor though. And so I'm very excited.
Very serious. But you can find me because everyone else will be in black and I will be in bright orange. So you can find me in the war memorial museums that we go to. Yeah.
It'll be real vivacious, and I won't have to worry. I'll leave my little toddler leash that I usually keep Allyson on when we travel. I'll leave that at home because I know she's planning on bringing this sweater.
Yes. Visual. Everyone wants to come with us, it seems like, Laura.
Okay. I mean, I can make it more fun. I feel that this trip is very much for me. I very much enjoy Germany, but it's a very particular kind of place, and I like German culture. I like that you know where you stand, and it's not very chatty.
Bottom.
Efficient. Yeah. And that everyone's just like, if you follow the rules, that is etiquette. And I'm like, love that. Know exactly what's happening here, but it's not sunny, cheery. And that's why I'm bringing Allyson. So I'm very excited.
I bring the sunshine.
Yeah. And I bring the 19th century romanticism, where I just like to stand on rock cliffs and contemplate eternity. So
I really like castles. It seems like there's a lot of castles in Germany. Very excited. Lousy with castles. Yeah. And beer. I really like beer too, and I hear they have a lot of it.
A couple.
So I think that'll go over really well. Yeah, I'm excited. And so that I was knitting away this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna slap with Laura when we are in Germany. It'll be great. Yeah. We should just pretend we're on The Amazing Race and we have to wear the same color. So our whole wardrobe will just be various shades of orange.
Yes. As Maya is mentioning in the comments, yes, the train's very, very good public transportation because that's how the Germans do it. And we had thought about renting a car, but I was just like, honestly, train travel is such a pleasure in Deutschland. Even back in the Stone Age, when I studied abroad there, and we had the one person in my study abroad program had the very first iPod and was explaining to us what MP3 players did. The Deutsche Bahn website was like elite. It was so good even in 2000. So I think we'll just trade it up. That's what will happen.
Yeah, I'm excited. Then we can do our knitting and we can do our gazing.
Yes, stunning vistas.
And yeah, it'll be beautiful. All right, and then the other thing that I'm working on right now is my Paul
Yes.
McCartney sweater. Also, I feel like this would go over really well in Germany.
Yes.
So we'll see. I'm just building my German wardrobe right now.
Yeah, outstanding.
But yeah, super excited about this. This has been on hold for a little while because I've been scattering around with my other projects, but this is blocked out. Really beautiful. Calborn Woolens Camper, ladies and gentlemen, is just the nicest yarn. It's just so nice.
Not a hashtag
so
ad, just the truth. Just the
Yep.
truth. Not an ad.
Just the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, and Allyson did a really smart thing on Instagram yesterday where she was sharing her progress on all of these sweaters and then shared from like a week ago to really show like how much growth there is. Because we live a lifestyle that not everybody needs to, but it's our literal jobs. We've got a lot going on. We're teaching. We're trying to lead knit-alongs. We're trying to get you interested in the things we're interested in. So it's making and marketing. So we constantly have to be jumping around. And sometimes when you're going back and forth, it can be hard to see your progress. So it's really helpful to us as well as to you, the viewer, to like really be like, oh, I have made a lot of progress. Like, yeah, last week I had this much sleeve. Like I've done things.
Yes,
it's good.
Done it. Yeah. Yeah. You really need to do that. Otherwise, you're just like, knitting is futile. What am I even doing?
Right. It's just like there are questions that come with the trade sometimes that normally I'm just like, oh, I have a canned answer. And then sometimes the questions come and they hit me at too personal of a thing when people are like, how long does it take you to knit a sweater? You know, most of the time I have my canned answer of like, 3 seasons of a show or something. But sometimes I'm like, I'm having a crisis because I don't even know, because I've taught this sweater over the course of 3 different classes and I've stopped at certain points for demonstration purposes and I don't know what the answer is. And then I find a mountain cliffside in Germany and look out into the abyss. So it's really nice. I just wanted to shout you out, Allyson, for that approach because it's so helpful to like document your progress in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's really hard in January when it is dark most of the time, and when it's not dark, it's foggy, dense fog advisory, and everything's dirty, to create content that people want to look at on Instagram. So being like, oh, look at these 2 pictures is a little bit more interesting than being like, wow, I haven't even put real pants on in 12 days.
For sure.
Cool. Yeah. So you got to keep the razzle dazzle.
Absolutely. Make your own fun.
Yeah. So that's what I've been working on. I love it. Yeah. It's been such a really good, like, I really love working on these 3 projects because they're all different enough where I can feel really good about like doing whatever it is that I'm going to be doing in the project. There's not one that is really taking my attention. I love all of them. They're all different enough. So it's just been really fun to sit down on the couch and be like, ooh, which one am I going to dig into right now? It's rare to get that. It's rare to get that balance.
100%.
Oh, Miss McDougall.
Yes.
What's going on with you?
Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. As promised last week, today I have released new classes for the spring. So I have new class lineups over at lauramcdougall.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's linked in our profile. My website, just click on classes. It's great. Yeah. I don't know. Click it wherever. Probably.
Clicky.
And I've just been waiting for Maya's registration to roll in, but she's in the chat already making excuses. But yes, it's a little bit of everything. Got 2 new classes coming up that I'm particularly excited about. One is I'm declaring March Mitten Month, And we're going to go over a different style of mitten each week. The pattern includes, the cost of the class includes patterns as well. And we're going to just talk about different styles of mittens. And then in the last week, how to create your own convertible mitten pattern, how to make any mitten pattern a convertible mitten pattern. It's going to be a huge smash hit sensation. Super fun. And classes, not glasses. Yes, I'm here to announce my partnership with iBuyDirect after all these years. I wish. No, we're not getting the sponsors. The sponsors are not rolling into this program.
No,
so
maybe
we're here,
one day.
We're here making our own fun. But no, classes. I am sponsored by the website lauramcdougall.com, where you can sign up for Mitten Month. It'll be every Thursday in March. And I'm very excited. I've been thinking about it for a long time about I'd like to teach a mitten class. But I don't know. There are so many different styles. Do people want to take one dedicated project class? And I've just decided I'm just going to tell you everything I know about mittens. It's really fun.
There's so much to know.
There is so much to know. And then when it's a huge sensation, smash hit, I think 2.0 is going to be about gloves and all that, and all kinds of fun stuff about anything hand accessories. So Mitten Month, very pumped about that. And then the zipper sweater has been cooking in my brain for a really long time. And it is tricky because scheduling, we are just so in demand. Our schedule is very challenging to find a straight run of classes, but I think I have figured it out. I've cracked the code, which is there's just a lot of ribbing and prepping that zipper area that needs to happen. So we're gonna do all that prep, send you on your way for 2 weeks to go do that prep, and then come back and finish up the sweater. And the nice thing about the zipper pullover is we're going to talk about zippers 2 ways. So you do not need a sewing machine to install the zipper. The way the pattern is written, you just sew it in there with some mohair. So pretty interesting. And we're going to talk about it. So zipper sweater, quarter zip pullover is having a real comeback moment. And I have the perfect yarn for it. Another marl, and it's time. So I'm very excited for me personally, speaking of wardrobe holes, to get that kicked off the ground. And then, we've got the hits are coming back. Design your own sweater. Design your own vest, rather. Friday tees coming back in July.
I see Christy's pumped about Friday tee. In July, Laura?
Yeah, that's when I had time. So I don't know if you know this, but we're gone almost all of June. So, Friday tees coming in July. That's what's happening.
Damn, something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have finite amount of time, so July it is, and more summer vibes will come later in the year. But right now, that's when you can expect Friday tee. I've had a lot of questions about Friday tee, so we're releasing them now. And there's something else in there, but I can't remember. Oh my God, Maker Work Group. So Mondays, once we wrap up Leelanau, Maker Work Group continues. I do Monday nights for an hour. We just have a 6-week themed check-in. All classes welcome. Yes, Melissa knows. And it's Guernsey themed. This was suggested by Maya and thoroughly resounded by the other makers in the group, that anything that's Guernsey or Gainsey related, that's what we're bringing. So this sock, in fact, is called the Guernsey sock. I'll be working on my second one during our Maker Work Group, but we've got people that want to make a Dust Bowl, people that want to make an Ingrid, people that want to do all Dustlin, not Dust Bowl. When I'm talking to Allison, she always wants to talk about the Dust Bowl, so that's where that came from.
I do love the Dust Bowl.
You do. I know that about you. Anyhow,
I love it.
If you're like, Guernsey, what are we talking about? No problem. I got you. You can head over to lauramcdougall.com/classes. Look at the Maker Work Group listing, the very first one on the page, and there is a Ravelry bundle for you that has lots of ideas that people have mentioned that they're going to be working on. So it's low price and a big fun. So you should join Maker Work Group if nothing else. And that is my pitch. That's what I've got going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Killing it. That's so much. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's so much.
It's a
Yeah.
lot, but it's
Good
launched.
for
Thank
you.
God. I'm really sick of being on the computer, and I'm excited to go sit down and knit. That is very exciting.
Yeah. There comes a point where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't
Yeah,
look at the screen anymore.
yeah. It's
So
very, and it's very much unlike that progress photo that you were able to share of your projects, where you can like take a picture and be like, look at all I've accomplished. I always feel like no matter how much computer time I put in, I look at what I've set up, and I'm like, that's it. That's all I have to show for these hours of work, are just these little
yeah.
squares. Anyway,
Yeah.
but
It's
make it worth
so
my while,
irritating.
everyone. Sign up for classes. I'm a very good teacher. The
Yeah,
end.
get planning. Get planning.
Yeah, hell
Plan
yeah.
out your wardrobe. Let's do this thing. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Laura. It's just pretty thankless when you work for yourself and you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm gonna finally figure out that thing that I've
Yeah.
been putting off for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That was me this morning. When I got one last email that was like, Google is updating their spam policies, and you really can't send marketing emails with a Gmail email account anymore, Allison. So you really need to just bite the bullet and start getting a new email address that goes with your domain name, which I have just not wanted to deal with for 2.5 years. But I did it today. I did it this morning.
Oh my gosh. What? Well, maybe it'll be a secret, but do you want to tell people your business email now?
You'll never guess. It is Allison at AllisonDykheisen.com.
Sounds
Inspired.
great. You're
I
going to
mean,
make
it's
people
inspired.
understand that there's no I in it come hell or high water. That is what you're going to do. So,
I'm gradually rolling it out. But yeah,
congrats.
I've just been
Congrats.
threatened by Gmail too many times. And today I took it seriously. So it has happened, and now I have 2 emails, and I merged them, which is a pain in the ass. Like, everything is just a pain in the ass, and then when you are done and you have succeeded in this pain in the ass thing that you have figured out and worked so hard and read so many articles about, people telling you how easy it is, and then still not being able to figure it out, and then 4 hours later you're like, oh my god, this is working, and then no one is there to be like,
You did it.
right?
Well,
I
we're
just
all
like
here.
went and walked my dog. Thank you. But yeah, it is way more fun to just knit and take pictures of it and put it on the internet.
Yeah.
Hot take, everyone.
Because when I get down on myself about it, then I'm like, no, this is a job. I am doing a job. That is my job to do this. But it's not my job all the time, and I gotta get into that reality. But well, as from hi at lauramcdougall.com to Allison at AllisonDykheisen.com, subject line is congratulations. I approve. That's
Thank
great.
you. It was just like 80% harder than it should have been, and took 80% more of my time.
Allison has been an independent contractor the entire time I've known her, and before then, she is an entrepreneur and has been blazing her own trail for nearly 2 decades. And I have been in since she was born, and I
am just a baby.
Yes. Whereas I, being a very typically prior to 2019, really was very risk averse and lived in corporate nonprofit world, and am still, a lot of my work habits are still very centered in that. So the idea of having my personal email linked to anything to do with my job is like I can't get my head around it. I'm too corporatized, and that is just brainwashing I'll have forever. So the fact that you've managed your inbox from your personal Gmail all these years is incredible, because I would go, I don't know why I can't break myself of that, but there are other habits I need to work on. That one's just going to stick with me, you know?
I don't think it matters. I just don't know what I would get in my personal inbox.
Well, it's hard to check now. All I really do is work on my work email, and then I open my personal, and it's like 60 emails. Are you kidding? So It doesn't even notify me when I get shit anymore. So I have to like keep an eye out now.
See, I merged. Part of it was I merged it so it all comes into one inbox.
Yeah.
I live still. So, but yeah, that was so annoying. But yeah, the whole point is to get a system that works for you and live in 100%. That system. Yeah.
Well, it's worth talking about in update land though, because that's huge. And especially when you accomplish something that you had on the to-do list, but like priority low, that feels great.
Priority low until it wasn't priority low anymore. Oh, and then it had to be priority high. Yes. But yeah, it does feel good. And it did allow me to kick my feet up for about 45 minutes between figuring that out and this call. So I get a little reward. So your reward for getting all those classes up this today, Laura, will be to be able to knit your job. Tonight.
Cast on 260 stitches. All right. But mentally, that will make me feel better. Well, it'll probably be finishing this color work and then casting on the body. But it's been, it's good. It's good. I'm pleased. Having this conversation about those classes has helped me out quite a bit too. So I hope it has inspired you all to check out your schedule and join me. And if you need everything at a glance, if you scroll to the bottom of my classes page, I have a little calendar that you can just scroll through and you can look at the sessions month by month. So then you can compare with your own calendar. Won't that be so fun?
Other big news, Laura, is we sold out our sweater club.
We did.
Sold out. Yeah. So super exciting. Laura is hard at work at launching new dates, extra dates. So those will come in the coming weeks. So if you're on the wait list, and I saw wait list people have been rolling in.
Sliding in. They are.
Sliding in. So yeah,
so we'll
hang out with us.
First. But yeah, more to come. And good. Everyone, see, I knew that people needed this time for, it's like, yes, we can do all the marketing in the world. We can do all the e-commerce. We can do the Instagramming and the emails, but people just want to hear it from the horse's mouth. You can sign up for classes, keep an eye out for more in-person sweater club dates. They're coming soon. Everyone's like, yay!
I know. I love that. And it's a dream. It's a dream realized, Laura, because you have been talking about doing more in-person things. I could not care less about seeing any of you in person, but I have just leaned right into only leaving my house when Laura makes me do a retreat. But Laura is helping me stop thinking like a little habit, a woman who lives a recluse life.
Man cannot live by Zoom alone. I believe Jesus said that. And the fact is, some of us are not right. Many of us will follow you on your fabulous journey to go live abroad in 2025. But many of us will remain here in the United States and will want to hang out. So we got to set that groundwork, get people used to come in and seeing us.
Smart.
And then you can at least leave me a little pool of people, and then I'll be like their consolation prize when you go live your best life abroad.
No, this is just the ultimate bait and switch. Use me as bait and then switch out for the real thing, Laura. And that's the Laura McDougall show for sure.
You know what? It's an honor that you allow me to use the term sweater club for both of us, because sweater club has always been the Allyson show. Speaking of that long career, Allyson and Sweater Club are like this. So the fact that I was able, and after intense negotiations, have been
very tense. Lawyers were hired. It really needed to be down in a signed contract for sure.
100%. 100%.
No, I always thought it was really funny. Yeah. So Sweater Club, it has been ages since I was doing Sweater Club. The whole idea is that learning from other people in a class environment is I think it's so much more fun than everybody working on the same thing. So people bringing their projects together and then being like, oh my God, this is actually really cool what this person is doing. We should all pay attention to the solution to this. I think it's just like a great way to learn. And then I brought that class to Knit One, and it really took off. And I had like 70 people coming to that class at Knit One. Which felt really good and was crazy because there were like many, many, many sessions and signups, and it worked. And I'm glad that it came with us and didn't get usurped.
Yes,
it should be.
Yes. So, I mean, it's ultimately just a name, but the concept is a solid one. And so the idea, like Allyson is saying, is you can utilize, similar to how I do maker workrooms as well.
Workroom,
but yeah. The idea is you can utilize the time however you'd like. And then if you run into something or have questions or want to poll the group, you have all the information right there. You have expert instruction if you need it. You have just general crowd support. If you're like, I have questions about this tapestry needle versus that tapestry needle, or like, oh my gosh, I don't have a stitch marker. Someone's going to have one. It's just, there's a community aspect to it. There is a learning aspect to it. And then there's just a gentle, if you choose to use it that way, gentle accountability aspect. And I think it's just it's my preferred way to knit. It's like knit night with like a little bit of like a stick and carrot thing, where it's like, if you have paid a little bit of money to be there, then you're going to use the time more effectively, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. There's a little buy-in that needs to happen in a lot of times to get people to take things more seriously, or just make sure that they show up. And just like, even if it's a small amount of money, you feel like you are literally bought in, so you take it seriously. That's where the accountability comes in too, which is great to help people be able to work through their projects in that way, in kind of a timely way. Because one of the things that we as knitters love to do is do the fun parts and then sit on the not so fun parts, which is why, speaking of dangling carrots, that's why we come up with like sleeve timber, and these, and these things to help you, and
whip it out. Yeah, I mean, all of these. Yeah, it's a balance, and we're never going to be the ones that are going to tell you should be a monogamous crafter, that you, if you are really hating working on something, that you have to see it through. That's never going to be our vibe. But sometimes you can get, I especially experienced this at the start of 2020, I don't really know why, who can say, but where you get in a mode of start, and then you're just drowning in project bags. You don't even know where your needles are. You don't know what's going where. And you might want to get that dopamine hit from finishing something. And that's where Sweater Club comes in. So.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I love it, Laura. Congrats on your class launch. We'll keep talking about this as things start filling up. And as we keep adding more things to, it does feel like it's been January for 6 months, but it is still January. Still the beginning of the year. We still have a lot planned. Hopefully
we do. Oh yeah. And so tons more to come for this particular segment of the video podcast, but it's good to start the year off with, so everyone, we love to plan. So it's good to get the picture of what class will be like for me, virtual classes will look like through the middle of summer. And then part 2, the rest of the year, we'll just, it'll be great. It'll be off the hook. Well, Allyson, last week you told us about your Searching for the Source of the Nile and your book. Any other cultural happenings in your life this week?
Well, we're still on the Lions, Laura. We're still on the Lions.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable is right. cannot believe it. They're in the championship game against the 49ers. And that is on Sunday. One of the great things about having a team that's overperforming is you just get to be happy that they made it this far. So we're everyone in Michigan, everyone who I've talked to, that's a Lions fan, has just been like, hasn't this been fun? Oh,
Well,
if
I
this is
think
the
that
end, wouldn't you just be so happy? I mean, good for them, those kids, right? So very little expectations. Everyone's just having a great time. But I am very excited to see what's going to happen in this game. Yeah. So that is what has been in my culture corner, is rooting on my little Lions. Seeing if they can pull it off and get a Super Bowl appearance would be so amazing, because then I would have the Lions and Usher, Laura, in the
Reba.
And Reba, for some reason, is going to be there too. You always have to see Reba.
I think you have engineered this Lions postseason, and I engineered the halftime show, because it really is what would happen if I was put in charge. There would be 100% more Mariah Carey and a couple more drag queens, I think. But Reba is a longtime supporter of the Dolls, and has a relationship with Cody Collins, her official Reba McEntire impersonator, and he used to open concerts for her like in the 90s. So that's really, she's an ally. So love it. Love it.
Absolutely. Love to see it. So it'll be fun. The Super Bowl will be fun regardless. Actually, it will be more fun if the Lions aren't there. Because
it'll be for me yes, that's true. It'll be more fun for me, because that means that I will be up in our bracket picking challenge.
Same.
But I did have them going this far, and I think that was me being a good friend, is really what I think. But it just turned out to also work out. Yeah. I also
I like to think that being my best friend kind of pays off for you, Laura.
Well,
constantly. I like to think that in my heart. Yeah.
Constantly. But also being a sports, like, not paying attention, like a enthusiast in terms of like, this is what we're doing, fun, but not like a hardcore fan or super knowledgeable. I do tend to err on the side of picking mascots and thinking along the lines of like, would a lion eat a prospector, for example? And generally speaking,
obviously.
Yes. Zodiac is like whatever, but one thing I've always identified is I love lions, because I'm a Leo. I love a lion, so I'm like, I have no problem rooting for any lion whatsoever. They're so cool. Except maybe a knit in the lion. I don't know about her, but especially now.
We don't have
generally a lion, that's a great mascot. Everyone can get behind. I mean, a group of lions is a pride. Just, that feels great. I feel great about
that. One pride is what they say about the Lions, Laura. One pride.
It's fantastic. That's just everything you need in a sports team. So that's outstanding. I enjoy that a lot.
Love it.
So
love it.
You got my vote on that one.
Yes. So the league championships are this weekend on Sunday. So we will be watching to see who we will be celebrating with during the Usher concert that we will be watching on the 11th. So
I'm about to get so caught up, which is an Usher reference. I love Usher. I love him.
Who doesn't love Usher? Oh my God!
Just a top tier entertainer. Oh, I'm always happy when Usher's around.
That show is going to be so good.
Usher, yes. Thank you, Joel. It is Usher. Particularly if the Super Bowl was in Atlanta, we'd have to say Usher, but.
Oh my God, I know. But no, it's not. He's not going to do the whole show by himself. That's impossible. It's going to be Usher and friends. The surprise guests are going to be so good. I cannot wait. And if there's a
But
Lions game going on around this, I will be like through the roof. You will have to just like put me to sleep in the corner afterwards, just like comatose.
You know, to be clear, love Rihanna. And I very much enjoyed her performance at the Super Bowl. I did enjoy it. And I love a surprise pregnancy reveal. But, and the only but I'm putting on this is I miss dancing at the Super Bowl. I miss it. I want major dancing. So that is what I'm hoping that Usher will bring to the table.
It. Oh, he can't not. He's dancing right now. This is how he lives his life.
Such a good dancer. He's such a good dancer. I just think we're at a poor moment culturally for dancing, minus Beyonce. Beyonce's carrying the dancing so hard, and now Blue Ivy is really stepping up. And she is obviously the greatest, but I need more dancing entertainment. It's really important to me. So thank you, Usher, for always being there.
I truly believe that you will not be disappointed by this this halftime performance.
To be clear, was not disappointed with Rihanna either. To be clear, only disappointed that we're never getting that album. I think we all know that at this point. But that's the only disappointing thing about Rihanna. I mean, it, girl. Fenty Beauty, thank you. But I'm letting go. I'm letting go of the album hopes. And
it was a little bit of a disappointment when she came out, and because you kind of thought like, oh, this is gonna be it, like she's gonna like do like 4 bars of a new song, and then we're gonna have new Rihanna music, and everyone was so excited about it. But she came out and was just like, just kidding, I'm having a baby. And you're just like, I respect you and your choices.
But I also want to believe you could do both if you really want to, but that's not for me to say. I respect your choices.
She's doing great.
Respect your choices. It's fine. It's just a little sad. Just a little.
Just a little sad. Just because we want more.
But we're going to just build on that lovely groundwork you laid. And I mean, you were very high on that platform in that amazing coat. But I'm excited for some dancing. Dance.
Yeah. I'm excited too. So that has been really drawing my attention. My book about finding the source of the Nile is nightmare fuel. Since they started on this journey, like up until when I was talking last week about it, very interesting backstories. They left it for 2 years, and everyone is just sick all the time with these insane diseases. Like just last night, I was reading about little irons. I think they called it little irons, which felt like you were being poked with little irons constantly. And I was like, well, how are they going to fix this? And they're like, you can't.
You don't.
You just have to hope you live.
Expire. You simply pass away. Yeah. Terrible.
I was like, that's terrible. I was reading the other night about how a guy got a beetle in his ear and then never heard again.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all doing one of these now. Ugh.
I sleep with these on now.
Yeah.
To protect my ears from beetles.
Yep.
So I've slowed down on that because every new chapter is more horrifying diseases.
Yeah. Strangely enough, so Vaster Wilds, the book that I talked about last week, same thing. She's confronted with horrors of the wild and animals trying to eat her. And then when she falls and has a massive concussion, she just goes back to her previous life as an abandoned orphan in Elizabethan England and talks about all the horrific diseases she saw there. So I'm just like, yeah, this lady's a survivor, but yowza. It was bad.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Well, things have taken a turn. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So you're focusing on the Lions.
And I was telling you last week, Laura, that I was going to watch Funny Woman on PBS.
Okay.
And I watched it with a huge recommendation.
And I wanted to say I was 100% wrong. I'm so sorry about Miss
No.
Scarlet. I've been corrected, was wrong. But yes, Funny Woman. You stand
Yes.
and recommendation?
Recommendation. It was really good. It's a quick
Good.
one. It's 6 episodes. And it's in the 60s. The costumes are so beautiful. The story is very feminist driven.
Right.
But and everyone's just doing great. The characters are all really good. Little people keep popping up. Rupert Everett is in it. Just old as dirt. I do not know what happened. He's just like your grandpa now.
Yeah.
It was kind of a lot. But yeah. If you're looking for something to watch, it's just like a quick little 6 eps.
Nice.
Give it a full thumbs up. One of the best things I've watched in a while.
Okay, well that's exciting because it did have such promising wigs, and that is always gonna get me to get to that theater,
great
or whatever.
Yeah.
So that streaming.
Get to your on PBS.
My
PBS
home
Passport.
theater. My home theater.
Your home theater. Yeah. I cannot believe nobody in the chat has watched this. I was expecting at least somebody to be like, "Oh, that was great." No one has said anything.
I feel like people have gotten really into streaming us on their televisions, which is pretty wild to me. But I think it has made the activeness in the chat really plummet. Or they're on lunch, and they're just like,
can't.
And they can't be
typing.
Yeah. Or perhaps they're knitting, which would make sense.
That's nice. Yeah, they're keeping up. All right, anything you digging into, Laura?
Well,
you said you had your watch list filled out for the weekend with your 260 stitches.
Yes, so I will be finishing up All Creatures now over the weekend, which is very exciting. And now I've got Funny Woman.
Yes.
Funny Woman. I'll have that as well. I
think you'll really like it.
I think it's time for some Horatio Hornblower in the mix too, but we'll just see. But today in particular, I'm been watching the Oscar nominations and the discourse around the Oscar nominations. And on one of these evenings, I sat down to watch this. I think it's the second Oscar-y movie that I've watched this year. The first was Barbie. I saw Barbie in theaters. And then the second I watched was Maestro, about Leonard Bernstein. I think that the Oscars are an interesting thing to talk about, but I think that the way that they're talked about is just so silly. And I think that this discussion that Barbie was snubbed is not really that true. And that it was a really fun movie that people really enjoyed. I don't think we need to be as upset about the whole Barbie nomination when there is a Native American actress nominated for Best Actress and is a likely winner. I don't think that's anti-feminist. In fact, it's entertaining, but I think it's very feminism 101. And I think even that was a hard sell for this country. And
which is why it was just like the lowest common denominator bullshit, not remotely controversial in the least, which is why everyone could just be like, Barbie, isn't it great? And everyone was like, totally, it is. This is like the least controversial thing ever. And so for people to be like, the Oscars are so terrible for eliminating these women as nominations is so hilarious to me, because haven't we already known this?
Also, Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach are nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, which, so that's also being rewarded for the work there. And Margot Robbie does have a producer nomination. Now, granted, I love Margot Robbie, and I really do. She did a fantastic job.
Yes.
But I don't think this is limiting her career at all. And I think if you're going to have a movie that's an advertisement for a product, which that was the best version that you're going to get of that. And she was very successful and will go on to be able to have the buying power in the industry to make a lot of interesting things. So
And
I don't know.
as she gains 60 pounds and throws a fake nose on her face, then she can get the
Then
Oscar
she gets
nomination
the
that she deserves, because that's what they do to women. You cannot be beautiful and be successful in this industry. And if you're going to be like, stand on your fucking feminist high horse fakely, because this is completely insane, the Oscars have been anti-women and fucking racist since the beginning of time. And if you want women to be nominated for Best Director, you can make 2 categories too. You want to boost 12 movies to be.
Well,
you cannot have. I mean, there's no reason to put a Best Actress and Best Actress and Best Actor. Why are those separate?
That's my thing. There should be, those don't need to be separate categories. So it's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And
stop gendering and everything too. And
yeah,
you can
so weird.
Like, yeah, it's so weird. The whole thing is wrong. It's like when people say, "Oh, my health insurance doesn't cover this." It's like, well, because the whole health insurance company, the whole health insurance thing is bad. You have to start picking out things that are convenient for you not to like in this exact moment, when the entire thing is wrong. The entire thing is wrong. The Oscars are stupid, based only in selling products. So if you're gonna like elevate this entire stupid thing that doesn't need to exist, and then you're gonna be mad about this one thing with like,
it's strange. But it kind of encapsulates my whole thing with Barbie in the first place, where it was just sort of like it was held up to be this like pinnacle of like great feminist theory, and I'm like, that only really is in a society where we aren't having these more nuanced conversations. So I that's what's tough for me with, we've had this discussion, which we don't really have time for now, but we've had this discussion with Greta Gerwig, where I find her approach to be very like blunt, like, this is a feminist piece, and we are now going to have Joe March talk about feminism because we need you to understand that it's a feminist piece. And I'm like, there can be lots of stories about women that are inherently feminist because the characters are interesting and the story's well told. And there are many female storytellers that I would love to see tell those stories. But when we bring up this one female director and make her the acceptable lady director for ladies, her approach, it can't be criticized, because then people are like, oh, she's like, you're anti-women. And I'm just like, no, there should be more women. My whole point is there should just be more. Like, more women equals better media, and then we don't have to like drink the sand here. Like, it's really something. So anyway, and I just wanted to say too about Maestro, it's about as subtle as a sledgehammer, and there's a lot going on with it, and it's a huge vanity project for Bradley Cooper. However, Carey fucking Mulligan, man, she does with a role that is like, it's only like 2 degrees more interesting than like worried astronaut wife. She does such a wonderful job. God, I love her. I mean, she's the only reason I could stick with it. She does such a wonderful job, and she gets to have her own accent.
I love her.
It's worth watching just for Carey Mulligan. I mean, holy shit, I just love her.
Did she get nominated for an Oscar, Laura?
She did, in Best Actress.
Thank God.
Which is interesting because she's like the wife, but it's the performance itself is outstanding. The role, but the performance is great. So Carey Mulligan, love her forever.
Yeah, same. She's just the best. Yeah. I love that we're not really getting yelled at in the chat.
No. Well, that's in our own community. God knows. I mean, hopefully people just don't make it this far on YouTube, and it's fine. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, but yeah, you'll find no fan. I am no fan of the Greta Gerwig Little Women, but that is a minority opinion, and I am not criticizing you if you feel differently. But that is just how I feel, and apparently Maya's with me, so I love to see that.
I didn't want to see it so much that I didn't go see it because I knew I would hate it, which is also what I did with the Barbie movie, because I knew I would hate it. And so I didn't go see it.
Yeah, I did not hate the Barbie movie, but I thought that the response to it because I love what? A wig. And the wigs are a technical achievement that should be, that really, if those wigs could run for president, I would vote for them. But
I would vote for literally anything other than what we have running for president currently,
yes.
Laura. So
wigs, the bad wig.
Wig.
Yeah. 2 very bad hair systems that we're looking at for the front runners. So
get it out of here. Get it out of here. Yeah, it's just very lazy. I think it's just very lazy to be mad at Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig not to be nominated for an Oscar and to only focus on how, oh, isn't that hilarious and ironic that that's like what the movie is all about? And it's like, it's just very lazy and very uncontroversial, and you're not pushing any kind of narrative other than the most obvious ones whatsoever so that people get tons of likes on Instagram. Hillary Clinton. So it's just very, there are so many other things to be upset about that would actually push interesting conversations. This is not pushing interesting conversations. Like when everyone's mad at Taylor Swift for whatever she does, like who cares?
But I perhaps naively, I have enough faith in Margot Robbie herself. Like she really, I do think, gets nuance in a way that a lot of people in her position don't. And I could really see her taking the opportunities that come from this and doing more interesting things with it. So I hope she rises to the challenge in that way.
I'm sure
and makes
she
it
will.
A better environment.
I also really like her. Agree.
Yeah, I really do. And she's made such interesting choices up to this point. I 1,000% believe that Margot is fine and doesn't really need us out here like caping for her. But I'm excited to see what she does next because I just don't think she's at home crying over this. I just can't. I don't
think you push to make a fucking Barbie movie for Oscars.
No.
Was that the goal here?
Success. No, and a huge commercial success where the majority of these other Oscar films haven't recouped their budget whatsoever. Like Killers of the Flower Moon has tanked so badly at the box office, just from a box office standpoint. Like, anyway, she has the buying power to do interesting things. And I'm glad that was in her hands than some of these other people. That's how I feel.
Right. Yeah.
In her Barbie hands.
So can we go back to being mad at the Oscars for real reasons?
Or looking at them as we should, as like a reflection of our own culture's shortcomings. That'd be great.
Well, as usual, Laura, took care of
that.
Done
and dusted. Great. And everyone agrees.
Perfect. Yay.
Great. Solved it.
No comments.